This monster is a Hasselblad H4D. Don't be surprised if you haven't seen it or even heard of the company. This camera is $20,000. Now, why is that? Well, it's anywhere between $20,000 and $40,000 depending on your configuration. But again, why is that? We go back to the sensor size diagram that I used in my Sacrificing Quality for Convenience video. The one sensor that you probably didn't see, I don't remember, I don't think so, is this, the medium format Kodak KAF3900. Now, you compare that to the 35mm full frame. That's at the top of the line for DSLRs. APS-C is more common, but take a look at the APS-C size versus full frame. It's like comparing a point and shoot to an APS-C sensor. There's a huge, huge difference. Very, very few people will shoot with a medium format camera because very few people would print out the pictures that this type of sensor would be good for. And what I mean by that is like pictures that are, say, as tall as a building or something like that. Now, I'm not against the Hasselblad H4D. There is a market for medium format photography. It's a small one, but there is a market. But the one thing I don't understand is why they have to take this camera and dress it up to look like a Ferrari. This shows that this market not only appeals to the very high-end photographer, but also to the collector, people who consider $200,000 to be lunch money. And this is basically one of the things that I'm going to show you as an example that make me go, why? I mean, you got a perfectly good camera. Why do you have to give it a Ferrari name and just make it look weird? Now, one of the advantages of doing it this way is that you don't have to necessarily pay for a premium because, like I said, the H4D runs for around $30,000 to $40,000 when equipped properly. This one runs around $30,000, so there's no premium. Now, well, yes, there is compared to every other camera on the market, but if you look at specifically within Hasselblad itself, it's not so bad. But it doesn't change the fact that I have to scratch my head and wonder why they have to stick a Ferrari badge on it, paint it bright red. I mean, why? This is a more down-to-earth example. This is the Sony Nex 7, a very, very nice, very sought-after high-end system camera. Now this is around, say, $1,300 or so, which is right in line with a mid-range DSLR. It's a great camera, many users. Okay. So this is completely Sony's own design. I want to point out some things to you. Two control dials here on the top, function button, your power switch and shutter, your pop-up flash, your proprietary hot shoe, and your viewfinder. Now take a look, also the microphones here. Now keep in mind what this design looks like. We're going back to Hasselblad again. This is the Lunar. Two control dials, power switch, shutter button, function button, pop-up flash, proprietary Sony hot shoe, and viewfinder. They've even got a Sony E-mount lens on here. And yet they completely destroy it style-wise. This is just one example. They've had other prototypes where you've got a gold top plate here and a grip here that's made out of wood. Why? All they're doing is taking a Sony Alpha NEX7. They're taking this camera, the $1,300 camera, and they're dressing it up and charging twice, thrice. I don't even know what the asking price is on this. But it's really just a dressed up Sony NEX7 to appeal to this very, very high-end niche market that is basically consisting of millionaires. But at the same time, you have to wonder why. I'll have you know that this particular camera has generated probably the most negative conversation within the photographic community. I mean, look at it. It's ugly. But it's not just cameras. I mean, take a look at this laptop. If you're in love with the Ferrari brand, that's fine. But I don't see why they have to put a carbon fiber lid and Ferrari badges on here when you could just take a perfectly decent laptop, say a red one, and put a Ferrari sticker on it. It doesn't make sense. And these are the things that make me go, why? I've even seen, I didn't think to bring this picture up, but I'll just explain it. It looks like a first generation iBook, for those of you who are familiar with that. For those of you who are not, it kind of looked like they called it the toilet seat. Seriously, that was one of its names, the toilet seat. They also called it the clamshell. Just do a search for iBook G3 and you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, somebody took an iBook G3 design essentially and dressed it up in leather. So they got a leather palm rest. I believe it had some wood in there, and the top plate was covered in actual diamonds. Why? You know, it is obviously appealing to the market of people that have more money than sense, but why? Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day.